Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, and a hey now, and a hey now. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of The Line right here on Talk 99.5, man. Glad to be back. What a week it has been. I've been going almost a week. How have y'all been? How's everybody? I hope everybody missed me as I went on what was a rare vacation. I don't usually do that, but something we had planned out for a while. Got out of town, had a lot of fun, and I see that the station has not been burned to the ground, which is
No,
good.
not yet.
There's usually this thing, and I've experienced this, and I've talked to people that have experienced it as well. That when they go on an extended vacation, like crazy stuff happens at work. Like everything just melts down.
Yeah, I've heard
And,
stories.
I mean, part of that depends on who you work with, who your team is, and this, that, and the other. But I've seen it in the past. I've worked at places where I'll leave and all hell will break loose. And then by the time you get back, it's just an absolute mess. And so your first day back is like extra hard, which nobody wants. Nobody wants to come back after an extended vacation and have to deal with a bunch of crap. But that happens I would dare say, most of the time.
It really does, yeah.
But
Because
people,
you build up all these events over the course of time. The longer your vacation, the more the events build up, and the more stuff in your case that you have to talk about
yeah.
or try and fix.
Well, and fix is the big thing. Like you gotta fix a bunch of stuff. For some people, depending on what your job is, like you're the only person that can do your job. So you get back and all of this stuff is sitting there waiting on you. So if you take 4 or 5 days off, your first day back, you're doing 4 or 5 days worth of work. Now, thankfully, I mean, kind of is like that here, but it's not because we had April Marie fill in for me while I was out. But um, you know, I had to do a lot of catch up this morning. I actually told myself I was going to do catch up last night. I'm going to go through the news. I'm going to see what's going on and everything else, and kind of get my bearings about me. And I absolutely did not do that. I ended up watching the season finale of Landman instead, and had the national championship kind of playing in the background. I wasn't really that interested in watching it. That's kind of rare for me. Normally, I like to watch it for the spectacle, but I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I mean, probably it had my attention for about a quarter, maybe the third quarter, and then I laid down and was going to bed, but I had it playing on my tablet on the nightstand because Trish has got Andy Griffith on the big TV, so you can't watch football on there. And I fell asleep with like a minute and a half to go.
I fell asleep earlier than that, I'll admit. I was watching it in the bed, had it on the TV, and I think I fell asleep with about 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter
Yeah.
and woke up to the post game interview with the quarterback from Indiana.
Mm. How did
I
that
was
go?
like, oh, okay. So Indiana won. Great. Click. Went to sleep.
Well, it seemed like Miami was mounting a comeback when I went to sleep, so I was
And then
kind of.
Carson Beck threw an interception.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, I saw the highlights this morning.
Because I was watching it. I was like, don't go to sleep, don't go to sleep, don't go to sleep, and then went to sleep. But I was exhausted. I've been exhausted. I got some complaints about my trip, but I mean more good than bad. The complaints I have were actually pretty minor, and I think next hour I'm going to go through a lot of it. But we had a blast. I'll be honest. It was the experience of a lifetime. Something I've wanted to do for a very long time is go to Tampa, Florida. And I know that kind of seems silly. Like, most people dream of like going to Paris or Japan or whatever. I'm like, nah, I just want to go to Tampa. And I don't get out. I don't get out enough. So I didn't know. I just whatever I can get, I'll take it. And honestly, Tampa seems a lot bigger than I thought it was. I
Well, it's
mean,
combined with St. Petersburg, too, so it makes it that much bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got Tampa, you got Clearwater, and St. Petersburg, which I don't think I went that deep into St. Petersburg, but it's all kind of connected together. It's a big chunk of land that all kind of just meshes together, but beautiful down there.
Yeah, I've been to Tampa a couple of times. Not, didn't really explore it. Really, kind of more through it. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's a pretty area.
Yeah. Trish and I did some exploring. She just absolutely had to go on the beach. And the way the weather worked while we were down there, I think we got down there Wednesday and the weather was okay, wasn't bad. And then I think Thursday was how was Thursday? I can't really remember. I think Thursday was a little chilly slash Wednesday. Well, slash windy, not Wednesday, windy.
That'd be the day you probably went to the beach, right?
Yes, of
Of
course.
course.
Yeah, yeah. But Thursday. But then or Friday. Wait, I got my days mixed up. Okay. So let me fix this. Okay, Friday was chilly and she wanted to go to the beach. I think that's when we went to Clearwater. And the Saturday came around and it was really nice on Saturday. And we went to uh Fort DeSoto Beach or something like that. And she was reliving her childhood by picking up a bunch of seashells, which we had nothing to put them in. We didn't have a bucket or anything, so we've got pockets full of seashells. It's like the old Rage Against the Machine song. We were walking down the beach with a pocket full of shells, and
Nice.
um, yeah, we get those and we just kind of throw them in the car. Of course, there's sandal in the car
Of
now,
course
but
not.
we did that. We partied with our people. We really partied with our people Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. And it was a lot of fun. What else did we do? We checked out some restaurants. I discovered Culver's for the first time while I was there, and I know that
Really,
sounds
never had it
crazy.
before.
Never had it
Wow.
before, and it was absolutely amazing. Culver's is the goat, and everything else sucks. Every other
Well, there
fast
you
food
go.
place sucks compared to this place. I mean, it's that good. I mean, the one in Tampa was just top notch. And it was late, dude. It was like 11 o'clock. We had just recently left. What was this? What did we do that Friday? Was it Friday night? We left the party and went and got Culver's. And I'm like, and we were just kind of searching for stuff. And I'm like, dang, man, this stuff's pretty good. I tried Dave's Hot Chicken for the first time, which is
Not
also
familiar
really
with that.
good. Oh man, that's top notch. It's a little more. It's kind of it reminded me of Hattie B's a little bit, but
Okay.
it was more fast food esque. Like Hattie B's doesn't have a drive through, do
Oh,
they?
Dave's does.
But Dave's does.
Oh, I gotcha.
I think that's kind of their main thing. I don't even know if they've got an inside where you can sit down and eat, but Dave's Hot Chicken really good. And so went around, did a lot of other stuff. Let's see. I've actually got a list, but I'll probably try to go through this uh next hour once I get through some headlines. We'll be covering all of this on tonight's Over the Line podcast. So if y'all follow us on there, you'll be able to get a full recap of all of that. Also went to another big thing I've been wanting to do was go to Hogan's Hangout, which is Hulk Hogan's beach shop over in Clearwater, and it's just kind of a store that's got Hulk Hogan memorabilia and some miscellaneous wrestling stuff. And so there's two parts of it. There's a gift shop and then there's a restaurant. And before Hogan died, he was there like once or twice a week. They'd have karaoke on Monday night and everything else, and everybody knew him around there. So it wasn't like it was a big deal that he was just hanging out at a restaurant. And went by there. They got a lot of cool stuff in there, a lot of signed memorabilia from a lot of different wrestlers. I picked up a t-shirt and took a lot of pictures. I was very touristy while I was down there. Very touristy. Took a lot of pictures and a lot of video. So, again, big recap on that. But I personally I loved it. I don't know what y'all think of Tampa, but I thought it was awesome. Honestly, I didn't even want to leave. I wanted to stay in Tampa, but I couldn't. And so, anyway, the weather, I mean, overall, the weather was nice down there. But what in God's name have I come back to here in Alabama?
And it looks like it's only going to get worse.
I woke up and the pool's frozen. It's freezing outside. Like, I'm not a jacket guy, but I had to put a jacket on today. And I just, I don't know. What's happening later this week?
They're talking about maybe getting an ice event this
my
weekend
God.
for the central part of Alabama.
I'm just going to go back to Tampa. If
you're going to go now.
I'll just take my stuff down there with me and I'll just do the show from there. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not doing an ice event. I mean, it's almost February. There should be no ice events.
Oh, February, you got a chance of it really into about mid-March here in Alabama.
The only ice events I want to see are in Minneapolis. That's the only ice I want to see. I don't want to hear in Alabama. So, none of that. So you're saying Friday night?
No, they're really talking probably midday Saturday going into Sunday.
So is that going to cause problems for us Monday?
It could.
Oh,
I'm glad I took Monday off.
Oh, my God. Oh, so I guess I need to come up with a plan for Monday in the event that I can't get here.
Could be.
Lord. Can I just do the show from my cell phone? From my
possible,
AirPods?
Yeah. That's possible.
I'll just do that.
The question is who's going to be sitting in this chair?
Yeah.
Again, I'm taking Monday off, which means I don't have to spend the night here Sunday night, which I don't want to do.
So what's somebody filling in for you, or are they doing a bunch of swapping?
Yeah, AJ's working on who exactly is going to be doing what and where between, I think, Cary and Orlando.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right, well, we'll see what happens. A lot of stuff to get to. I do want to touch a little bit on that game last night, which I could do on the other side. Trump was there, which was very exciting. Maybe my favorite part of the game. Minneapolis going crazy. That has not died down. I thought by the time I got back that we might be past the riots and protests in Minneapolis, and the next thing you know, they stormed into a church, and it's out of control. So we'll get into that much more, and your phone calls 205-545-9950 if you want to call in and tell me how much you love me and you missed me.
And then there's the roll call. Crap, I forgot about that. I probably got time to do that. See, this is what happens when I go on vacation. Completely forgot. See, that's my job. I keep you straight. Make sure that you get all the elements in properly.
You did a good job. All right, let's go real quick. Early birds. We've got Bo, Jimmy the Greek. Y'all two are just a tad bit too early, which means number one on the Hey Now roll call, reclaiming his title after many weeks. It's none other than Peyton Hanau. Peyton with a win. Good job. Shane from Berry Mountain, number 2, and Heath at number 3 with a welcome back. Thank you, buddy. Then you got Michael Wilson, Bubba Rumble, Dwayne J, Mike from Canada, Gene, Donald Smith, Maggie, Grumpy Old Goat, Trent, Hippie with the J's. Hell yeah, Ricky. Dr. McReady. Leslie, Jeff with the J's, Cherry, Darren, Dave, Mark, Caleb, Jamie, Justin, Billy, Ron. Look at all y'all coming through. Hey now, everybody. Let's get this thing started, shall we? When we get back on the other side. Billy asked, "You didn't get converted, did you?" Um, is he talking about Scientology?
Is that a big area down there, Scientology
Yeah.
area?
Oh, yeah. And I didn't even think about it while I was down there to go by the Scientology church. Because at one point, because Bird went with me, it was Bird and Tony Gump.
One would have thought that would have been right up his alley.
Yeah. See, we planned on putting some, Google Spy glasses on. People got these glasses that have the cameras on them. We thought about putting a pair of those on him and sending him into the church to see if he could become a member and just see if they would accept him. Because, I think doesn't Scientology just want like kind of powerful people that's got money?
I think those are the ones that actually get like high up inside the sect. I think.
Yeah, I was just assuming like you see a lot of celebrities and stuff getting tied up into that, so I just assumed it was about the money. And I just figure what's the worst that could happen because they're probably not going to accept John Bird because he doesn't have any money. He goes in there and tells him he's broke, but he wants to become a Scientologist and just see what their reaction is. That was our plan, and I freaking forgot about it. Completely forgot. Which is okay. We'll go back down there. We'll go back. We got a lot of friends down there now, and so maybe we can go. Well, the thing we went to was kind of like an annual party, and so it happens this time every year. But I think I need to go more than once a year. But I did not. However, I did not like the hotel. I was at a Holiday Inn, and it was a Holiday Inn near the airport. And
that's always a risky move, yeah.
It was just, I don't know. The beds were uncomfortable. Kind of smelled like sewage a little bit downstairs. We were on the 10th floor, so it didn't really smell like that in our room. But, it was, Trish said it smelled like sewage. I thought it smelled like they were cooking meatloaf. So it was, I don't know. Don't ask. Maybe my senses were off, but it didn't really smell like sewage to me. I just thought they were cooking because they had a full bar and grill down there or whatever. But she swears it was sewage. In the room, though, our toilet was running all night. And also the beds were not very comfortable. They were kind of stiff. So.
Yeah, and if you're not used to a firm mattress, that'll throw you off.
Yeah, I didn't like it. The view was great. All the way up there on the 10th floor, you could see large swaths of the city. But I woke up every morning with my back hurting. But that was okay because I was having the time of my life. Everything was fun. Had a great time. Met a lot of good people. Probably drank a little too much. But
you were on vacation, so.
I was on vacation. And guess who I finally met after all this time? My boy, Alex Stein. Got to hang out with him. Been trying to get him. Been talking to him for a while, saying, let's get you on the show. And he's had a lot going on. He was working for the Blaze, had his own show on the Blaze. His contract ran out back in October, so he was trying to reassess his career or whatever he was going to do. And so I didn't want to bug him too much, but I finally got him cornered. And I'm like, listen, bro. He says, I know, it's supposed to come on your show. I'm so sorry. I said, well, let's do it. Let's do it now. So maybe we can have Alex Stein call in the show at some point. I'm not going to harass him just yet. I'm going to give him a few days and see if he forgets or if he actually cares about me. And who else? Met a lot of other people. Anyway, like I said, I'll get into that when we get to the 11 o'clock hour. First, I want to recap a couple things from last night, MLK Day yesterday, and much more on this edition of The Line. 205-545-9950. Y'all hang tight. 205 545 9950. Let's see. Grumpy old goat says, stop cooking your meatloaf in a bedpan and your nose will smell the sewage again. I've only cooked meatloaf like once or twice. And actually, I remember, like, my wife's meatloaf is so freaking good. It's so good. She uses like brown sugar and then the habanero spicy rotel in it. And so it's got this spice and sweetness to it. It's like, oh my God. Like, it makes me sick because I eat so much of it.
So I presume she doesn't do that in a bedpan.
No, she does not do it in a bedpan. I mean, she uses a pan, but I guess you could use it as a bedpan, but we don't. We use
it's a good call.
Yeah, we use that for cooking. I made walking tacos last night, which is essentially like a bag of Doritos, and you crunch up the chips, and then you just dump your taco meat in there, and then throw some cheese and some bacon and some pico and some sour cream, and it's basically like nachos. You're just eating it out of a Doritos bag.
It's like a taco salad.
Yeah, it's like a taco salad in a Doritos bag.
Yeah, I've done something similar to that.
I think at the restaurant, that cookout restaurant, I think they do those, which is where we discovered them. Well, I didn't discover them. She did. I've never been to Cookout, but I hear it's good.
Been there one time. I was over at the one on Lakeshore. It was all right.
Was it? I heard the food's cheap over there. Like, it's very affordable.
As I remember, it was, yeah, in comparison to other fast food restaurants, it was pretty more than competitive.
Well, I need to go there. For sure. I just got to improve my eating habits because I only eat once a day. And, if you're at home and you're already posted up, that's why we don't go out and eat a lot. We cook at home a lot because I eat so late. It's just not like, if we're going to go pick something up, we got to pick it up at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock for everybody else. Well, then, by the time I'm ready to eat, my food's going to be cold. So I'd much rather just cook it at the house and do it that way. So anyway, that's what we did. No meatloaf in a bedpan. We're not doing that. It's completely inappropriate and out of pocket. Real briefly, the championship game last night at the beginning when I believe they were doing the national anthem. They had, what was it? They showed Trump, who was there with, I think, his grandkids. I think Ivanka was there as well on the big screen, and the crowd went nuts, man. They were eating it up. They were loving it, dude. And, of course, you see on social media a handful of people that were like, oh, did you see Trump get booed? Trump didn't get booed. Give me a break. Trump didn't get booed. People love him. I mean, that's just part of town. I mean, they're down there in Miami, which, by the way, Miami, you got a national championship as a home game, and you still lose. Not a good look. Not a good look. But people down there love Donald Trump. There was also a controversy that I've seen all over my timeline, and I had no idea who this chick was, but everybody was making a big deal about some chick named Abella Danger being shown on the national championship broadcast. And so I had to look her up and see who she was, and apparently she's a porn star. So everybody's making a big deal because they showed a porn. It wasn't like she was doing porn. It was just apparently she's well known, and everybody was flipping out about it. So I don't know why that really matters, but everybody's making a big deal. Okay, so outside of that, let's see. Well, let's start on the international front as we normally do. We have had unrest in Iran, which I didn't get a lot of time to talk about this, But over in Iran, massive protest, massive death, by the way, with the government basically killing protesters who were out in the street trying to, you know, get back to where they once were, say back in the 70s. It was an interesting dynamic because you had multiple generations that were out in the streets fighting for what would ultimately be their freedom from under the rule of the Ayatollah. You had teenagers who had never known anything but the life they lived there in Iran. You had people a little bit older that may remember what it was once like, but now live under this religious, ideological, suppressive rule of the current government. And then you had older people who, understand really what's going on. Now, as far as the death toll, and this is the part of the story that I want to talk about, the Ayatollah in Iran has officially acknowledged that thousands of people were killed during the more than 2 weeks of nationwide protest and blaming the deaths on, you guessed it, Donald Trump, accusing him of encouraging unrest by promising protesters U.S. military support, even though the uprising happened before promising military support, but that's neither here nor there. Khamenei described Trump as a criminal and claimed the protest, which began over economic conditions and later shifted to calls for regime change and an end to the Islamic governance, were driven by foreign-backed agitators. This is Khamenei's explanation. He did not address reports from witnesses and human rights groups that Iran security forces fired on unarmed protesters. An unnamed Iranian official told Reuters that authorities had verified at least 5,000 deaths, including about 500 security personnel. The U.S.-based human rights activist news agency reported 3,919 confirmed deaths, with nearly 9,000 additional deaths under investigation, along with 24,669 arrests. Human rights groups said security forces removed injured protesters from hospitals and restricted medical treatment, while phone outages left some wounded without help. Protesters and eyewitnesses described a crackdown involving live fire drones and paramilitary forces. Says Khamenei warned of consequences for protest participants and called for unity to defend the Islamic system, while Iran's judiciary signaled that some detainees could face execution under charges punishable by death. Some of the deadliest clashes were reported in Kurdish regions. And it says that the government imposed a nearly total internet shutdown with only limited restoration. Multiple Iranian TV channels were hacked during the shutdown, briefly airing footage of anti-regime protest and messages from their exiled crown prince urging Iran's military and security forces to break with the Islamic Republic and join the protesters. Streets have returned to an uneasy calm with police and military presence, though hit-and-run clashes continue to happen to this day. But there was a moment throughout that where I thought, and there was speculation online as well, that Donald Trump was actually going to make a move during what seemed like a weakened point for the Ayatollah's regime, as there could actually be a chance for regime change. Now, the Trump administration decided to not do that, and here we are, kind of back at square one, but we'll see where this goes. I mean, Trump's not putting up with any BS from Iran, that's for sure. And we also are not big fans of getting involved in other people's foreign wars, at least with the Trump administration, if we don't absolutely have to, and if it does not directly affect us. So I don't expect anything to really change on that front anytime soon, but We will see. Then there's Greenland, which is maybe one of my favorite stories. I love this entire thing about Greenland because it's such out of the box thinking, and it's not even original thinking. Like, this has been discussions years and years ago by past presidents have brought this up and suggested that this is a good idea to protect the United States national interest. Donald Trump is just reviving that. He does that a lot, by the way. There's a lot of situations where it's been brought up 50, 60, 100 years ago by previous presidents who says, "Hey, this is what's best for the country. We should maybe try to do this." And then time goes on and other presidents don't really follow up on it or whatever. And then Donald Trump brings it up and they're like, "Oh my God, nobody's ever said anything like this." Well, yeah, they have. This has been talked about for a very long time. It's just because Donald Trump is talking about it. That's why you've got your panties in a wad. But he's right when he brings these things up, especially when it comes to Greenland. This is National Security 101. And the people of Greenland, no matter what the media is telling you, they actually want it. They would prefer this. I'll explain to you why on the other side. 205 545 9950. The line, Talk 99.5. Bubba makes a good point. He says that Iranians were in the streets with American flags in 2020, calling for Trump to help them before the election was stolen here. And that is that's very true. When you see these protests, which country do you see represented in the protest? And I don't mean by another country's citizens being it. I'm like, for instance, what flags do you see in there? It's usually American flags because most people around the world, when it comes to protesters that are going up against their own governments, they understand that one of the only ways that they are going to accomplish their goal is with the help of the United States of America. Everybody across the world understands this, except for a, a large chunk of people in this country. That's why they have a lack of appreciation for this country. They don't understand. It's just like with the Venezuela stuff. It was a whole big hubbub and a whodunit. Like we kidnapped another country's leader, and how dare we do this and everything else. Meanwhile, the people in Venezuela were saying, "Thank you, Mr. Trump. We appreciate you." Even reporters were going to Venezuela and they were saying, "But don't you think Trump just wants your oil?" The Venezuelan citizen says, "We don't care. He can have it. Like we want our lives back. We want our freedom back. We don't care about this oil. Have whatever you want. We got plenty of stuff here we can survive on. We've got minerals and everything else that we can make a living on. If you want the oil, take the oil." They said, because if it weren't for Donald Trump taking oil, it would have been China. It would have been Russia. Like somebody was going to get it. And if anybody's going to get it, we would like Donald Trump to have it because he's the only one that has any sort of intention of implementing freedom back into Venezuela. The left doesn't understand that. The media, more importantly, doesn't understand that. They always give their opinions on every issue, but they never talk to the people that the issue directly affects and ask them their opinion. Because the people who are affected by these issues have a different opinion than those in the media. Take the ICE raids, for instance. When you go talk to legal immigrants or poor communities who have been hurt by illegal immigration, whether it's economically or crime-wise or whatever, they've got a different view of this than Abby Phillips on CNN or Rachel Maddow or Joy Reid or whoever. Because they're actually living the consequences. The people that are in TV studios don't live these consequences. The people that are lawmakers in Washington, D.C., they don't have to live through the consequences. So they've got no skin in the game. They can say whatever they want to say. And if you are someone who has a problem or someone that's dealing with the consequences, don't dare try to go speak to these people because they don't want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from you at all. On the issue of Greenland, the media is not going to be talking to the people of Greenland. That seems like that would be your go-to to find out, like, all right, on this Greenland issue, Trump wants to buy Greenland and have it as a U.S. territory, but that's an awful idea because Greenland should be its own country, which it's really not, but whatever. And this is a no-go. This is a bad thing for Donald Trump to do. What you would think the first thought would be from the media is, well, let's go talk to the people of Greenland, which could be very, very beneficial to the media's narrative to say, okay, we went to the people of Greenland. They don't like Trump either. They hate the idea that it's even being talked about of their country being bought and becoming a U.S. territory. That would help them, right? That would help them make the case on their TV shows, on their social medias, that Donald Trump is a crazed maniac that's going around thinking he can just buy countries because he's rich. But the problem is the people of Greenland have a very different opinion. And so the media can't talk to the people of Greenland and ask them, what do you think about this? Because they actually want it. And they want some independence from Denmark as well. And Denmark knows that. And I'll give you a brief history, probably on the other side, as to what the Greenlanders have had to deal with over the decades from the governments of Denmark. It's actually been quite inhumane, and nobody's talking about it. But first, we've got Davos coming up tomorrow, or maybe that's already started. I don't know. Trump's speaking at Davos tomorrow with the big World Economic Forum event. And I absolutely cannot wait to see Donald Trump up on that stage ripping the globalist a new one, which is exactly what he's going to do. And Denmark knows this. That's why they have announced that they are not going to be attending the World Economic Forum in Davos, because Hurricane Trump is expected to dominate the event with the largest U.S. delegation ever. He's going to get up there and rip each and every one of them to shreds, as he's done so many times. That's going to be a sight worth seeing. But Denmark, on the other hand, says, nah, you know what? We're not going to go, because we already know if we do, we're going to get utterly embarrassed in front of the entire world. And that's the last thing that they want. The World Economic Forum in Davos will get a taste of its own medicine with the globalists. Trump's going to dominate the event. And the first consequence is that the representatives for the WEF, which kicks off, I guess, today. Did it kick off today or yesterday? In Switzerland, have confirmed that Danish officials will not be attending the event as tensions over the U.S. acquiring Greenland are intensifying. Daily Mail said in a statement, the forum said, we can confirm the Danish government will not be represented in Davos this week. Danish government representatives were invited this year, and any decisions on attendance are a matter for the government concerned. So, wasn't like they weren't invited. They actually reached out and said, you know what? I think we're going to skip this one. Hour number 2 up next.